Hello, 8th graders. Today is all about filling in tables B and C. So this video is to explain how to fill in table B, which is a number line for your Wheel of Theodorus project. So we went through sections 1 and 2 last week. Today you are focusing on section 3. So you will order the measurements of all the hypotenuse lengths from your wheel on a number line. And so the first step is to label each hypotenuse on your wheel with the letters, beginning with A. And so here I have all of my different project pieces. So starting with my first right angle, again, the hypotenuse is always directly across from that right angle. And so last week you labeled this hypotenuse length as square root of 2. And so now we're just going to add in the letters of the alphabet, so that when we go on our number line, we just have to worry about putting those letters, A and so on the number line instead of having to write the square roots, because as you continue on the number line, some of your points are going to become very close together. So it's going to be hard to get all of that information on there. And so having letters will just help you with that piece, okay? And so that was step 1, was to go through and label each hypotenuse length with a letter. And now for part 2, it says on the number line provided, which is labeled table B, plot and label a point for each hypotenuse length. Okay, so I'm looking at this table B, and I want to kind of figure out, what do I know about square roots and where they fall? And so I can put some extra information on here just to help you get started. So I know that 1 is also the square root of 1, because 1 times 1 equals 1. I know that 2 is equivalent to the square root of 4, because 2 times 2 is 4. I know that 3 is equivalent to the square root of 9, and so on. And so this information helps me, and some of you might remember last week when I gave you feedback on your table A, where you were doing all of your work for the hypotenuse lengths. I said, go back and add where you had the square root of 4, add that equals 2, and add that the square root of 9 equals 3, because it was going to make the work for today much easier. Okay? So now when I look at my wheel, and again, I'm just going to focus on the first couple of triangles to get you started. So I have the square root of 2, I have the square root of 3. I might not know what to do with that, but since I've added this information, I say, okay, well, the square root of 2 has to be in between the square root of 1 and the square root of 4. I know that the square root of 3 also goes in between the square root of 1 and the square root of 4. So if I'm thinking square root of 2 and square root of 3 are the only 2 square roots between these two that I have labeled as being for 1 and 2 on my number line, then I'm going to think about the spacing being pretty equivalent. So maybe the square root of 2 is like somewhere right in here, and then thinking about the same sort of distance, maybe this would be the square root of 3. And then I have the square root of 4. Well, I need 2 things. I need to label and I need to plot. So I just plotted, but I haven't labeled. And so what I want to do is label this first one. The square root of 2, we just said, is our A. The square root of 3 is our B. Now, the square root of 4, which we said is 2, that's actually a length of one of the hypotenuses from my triangles, so from my wheel. So I'm actually going to write on the number 2 on my number line. I'm going to label that C. So plot your point and label C. Now, my next whole number is 3, which is equivalent to the square root of 9. So I'm going to add in square root of 9. What was that? Square root of 9? Oh, that's my H. And so now you have to decide if I need to fit D, E, F, G all in here, so square root of 5, square root of 6, square root of 7, square root of 8, how might you space those out? to make sure that they all fit in between C and H. And then you're going to continue after H, so I, J, K, L, and continue on until you feel you would get to 4, which would be the square root of some number. I'll let you figure that out. I don't want to give away too much, but that is how you would label and plot the length for each hypotenuse on the number line.